All right, hi guys. This is some story time about kind of what happened to me yesterday, and also maybe a word of caution to people. So I decided yesterday to go on a hike. A friend of mine who hikes frequently was like, "Hey, there's a hike. It's not too bad. It's only a mile. It's a little under a mile actually." It does go up and then you come back down. And I thought it's cool. I've been, walking about 3 miles on average, maybe a little bit more, on like around my neighborhood on flat ground. And I've been wanting to get into, more hiking because I would like to go backpacking next year once I hit goal. And so I was like, cool, let's do it. I thought I was prepared. I brought a bunch of water with me. I drank a bunch of water beforehand. I had a snack beforehand. I had a snack with me. My snack was cashews. And I drank Gatorade beforehand and then had water in my backpack, in my day pack. I thought, I was doing all the things I was supposed to do. It seems like maybe my biggest mistake was I decided to drink a pre-workout, a stimulant pre-workout before going on this hike. I thought maybe this will, help me have the energy because as we know, after surgery, and if you're like me and you're eating pretty low carb, carbohydrates are our energy. It's where our body gets our energy. So when you are low carb, your body has to take that energy from your fat. But the problem is that it doesn't convert as quickly as, say, carbohydrates do. So anyway, so I thought like, I'm good. I had my pre-workout. I drank a bunch of Gatorade. I think I was like 70 ounces of water or more before I went on the hike itself. Hike started out great, probably got a half mile up the trail. I was feeling pretty good and I was like, okay, so the worst part of this is energy. Like my muscles feel good. Like it's not very steep. I feel like I can do this. My quads were burning, but not like horribly. And then I started probably about 3/4 of the way up, I really started to flag. And I thought, okay, Rebecca, like you can do this. You can push through, you can get to the top, take a rest, have some water, and then come back down. And going down, it's all in the shade, it's all downhill. Thought it was gonna be fine. I made it to the top. I sat down and I started to feel extremely nauseous, extremely dizzy. I was like shaking. Tried to eat my snack, but with feeling so nauseous, like that didn't work out very well. Drank the last of my Gatorade and tried to drink some like regular water, and I didn't even want to drink. Like I had no desire to drink, but I knew I had to. My heart was pounding in my chest. I just felt probably the worst I've ever felt. So I said to my friend who was with me, I said, I hate to admit this because if you know me at all, I hate admitting defeat. And I'm definitely somebody who is like all or nothing. I'm going to get to the top of that mountain. I'm going to come back down and I'm going to do it, even if it kills me. Like I'm definitely that type of person. Once I commit to something, especially if it's exercise related or physical, like I'm going to do it. And it's really tough for me, and it has always been tough for me, especially, 92 pounds ago, to admit defeat and to say like, hey, I can't do something. So I said to my friend, I can't go back down. I can't get up. I can't go anywhere. This is where I live now. So can you go down, get your car, drive up to the top of the trailhead? Because it was, the top of the trailhead was in a parking lot, and the bottom obviously was in a parking lot. So she did. She hiked back down, she got her car and came and picked me up. And by that point, I was like literally sitting on the ground, like having a horrible panic attack on top of everything. The edges of my vision were going dark. I was dizzy, was short of breath, like just, it was awful. Awful. When I say this is the worst I've probably ever felt in my life, I mean, it's the worst I've ever felt in my life. She drove me back down to the bottom, at which point I just said, I'm not safe to drive myself home right now. Luckily, her mother is a retired nurse, and so she called her mom. Her mom came out and assessed me and said, let's go back to my house. We'll get you they brought me like full sugar Gatorade too, because I also suspect that my blood sugar was crashing at the same time, because I used up all of my energy on the trail and there was nothing left in my body. So like she brought me some full sugar Gatorade, cause I'd had a Gatorade Zero. And my friend had some like Fig Newtons in her car. So I tried to eat I ate half of a Fig Newton, but could barely do it because it made me so nauseous. And it wasn't because of the carbohydrates or the sugar in it. I was nauseous like before I started eating the Fig Newton, and I thought maybe if I eat the Fig Newton and it ups my blood sugar a little bit, then I'll feel better. But I could barely eat the Fig Newton, and this is gonna say TMI, guys, but like I also was having horrible diarrhea on top of everything. And that came out of nowhere, like absolutely nowhere. And I get her, so her mom gets in my car and drives my car with me like sitting there freaking out to her house. My husband meets us there. Like I'm fully prepared. Like if this doesn't stop, I'm going to the ER, because I thought I must be so dehydrated that I need fluids. Like I must have super low blood sugar, but I can't seem to really eat anything because I'm so nauseous, and like I'm struggling to drink because I don't want to drink and it doesn't sound good, but I also know that I need to drink. And then she said that I was having PVCs, which is when your heart skips a beat. So basically like 2 hours later, after sitting in her house in the air conditioning, because it was also like 80 something degrees out yesterday while we were hiking. I finally started to feel fairly normal. I mean, not normal. I didn't feel normal, but I felt way better. So we went home, couldn't sleep, felt like garbage. I felt like the whole time that I was having this like out of body experience, like I wasn't fully present in my body. Like I was kind of floating outside of it. I'm exhausted, like more exhausted than I've been in a really, really long time. I don't feel solid in my body either today. I struggled to sleep more than an hour at a stretch all night long. I think I only slept about 5 hours last night, because I would sleep for about 45 minutes to an hour, wake up, stare at the clock, feel like garbage, Drinking plenty of Gatorade today. Basically, one of the worst experiences of my life, and I feel kind of a combination of just disgusted with myself for not being able to walk a mile uphill, because I've lost 92 pounds. Like before surgery, probably about 30 or 40 pounds ago, like when I was about 30 or 40 pounds heavier than this prior to surgery, I could have done this hike no problem. But now after surgery, I couldn't do it. My friend's mom thinks that the pre-workout may have been at least part of the culprit in terms of making my heart race and making me get some PVCs. And then you tack into that possibly a little bit of a blood sugar crash, a little bit of some heat exhaustion, paired with maybe a lot of dehydration, and you get kind of the perfect storm of what I felt. Plus having troubles with my bowels. Like and that dehydrates you. So it was like all of those things rolled into one, and it was awful. So I guess my word of caution for people is like, yeah, you can, lose a bunch of weight and feel great and, think like, yeah, I can totally do this. And push your body a little bit and push it too far. So we're still susceptible to dehydration. We're still susceptible to running through our stores, especially if you're eating low carb, and we're still going to struggle with, at least I do, with paying attention to my body. I didn't notice the signs. I didn't pay attention to the signs. I still struggle, and I'll do another video on this at some point, but I still struggle with my relationship with my body and like recognizing what it's doing, how I'm feeling, recognizing that it can't do everything that I want it to do yet. And that, sure, I've lost 90 pounds, but I've lost 90 pounds. I've lost a decent chunk of muscle on top of that, because you can't do this and not lose some muscle. It's not like I've retained all of the muscle I had at 380, at 280. You are eating low carb. You don't have the same energy stores. You can only take a couple sips of drinks at a time. You can't chug water when you're dehydrated. I just grossly underestimated what I was capable of doing, or overestimated what I was capable of doing, and didn't listen to my body, which is honestly something that I want to keep working on, is listening to my body. I want to repair the crappy relationship that I have with my body. And I want to get to a place where I can honor my body and treat it with respect, because I did not treat it with respect yesterday. Not even close, not even a little bit. And, frankly, it would have ended me up in the ER if it hadn't been for my friend's mom. If her mom hadn't been a retired nurse who was also, by the way, a cardiac nurse. So that's how she knew I was having PVCs, and why she, suspects that it was the pre-workout that might have caused it. But yeah, if it hadn't been for her, I would have gone to the ER, and another $3,000 bill later, would have been regretting going to the ER. Yeah, I don't know. It was probably the worst I've ever felt in my whole life, including after surgery. And was a huge mistake. And I don't think guilty is the right word. I guess I feel guilty for not listening to my body and not taking care of it better. So next time I go on a hike, we're going to start easier. We're going to start on flat ground. We're going to do it on a day that's not quite so hot. I'm going to eat something with some carbohydrates before I go, and I'm going to bring something with some carbohydrates with me. And the moment that I start to feel my body flagging and the energy dropping and feeling like, oh man, okay, I'm starting to get really tired, that's when I'm going to turn around, because I did not do that yesterday. I just powered through and pushed through and did it, and that was the mistake. So, yeah, lots of don't be like me. Don't do that. It's not healthy. It's not safe. So, all right, thanks for watching, guys. I know this is kind of an out of the blue video. I'll probably post this up on my YouTube as well as my Instagram, even though I didn't do my usual YouTube intro, but it doesn't matter. Y'all know who I am, so, and why I'm doing this. Yeah, thanks for watching, and be careful out there, please. All right, bye.